Hello and welcome to this video on an obscure form of poisoning, bamboo shoots. Bamboo shoots are a reasonably common ingredient in various Asian or Asian-inspired dishes, and the addition of these can be considered a form of poisoning given some people's reaction to them, but in at least cooked food they are relatively safe. They shouldn't poison you. But remember, they are added fresh and then cooked. This is at least partly very important when you consider that they are dangerous when raw. The next and rather obvious question then is, what does cooking do to these bamboo shoots that makes them safe for consumption? Bamboo shoots are poisonous when they're raw due to a simple thing: the presence of a natural toxin. Mostly here we can summarize it as the cyanogenic glycosides, taxiphyllin being the most common. These are a family of compounds, and taxiphyllin is just one example of them, that can release hydrogen cyanide. This is a surprisingly common natural poison. When the plant tissue is damaged, or in the case of a human, digested, it releases this particular kind of cyanogenic glycoside. And, as you can imagine, anything containing cyanide entering the human body is particularly bad. Anyway, it's going to affect things like, say, your respiratory system. It's going to cause dizziness, nausea, and so on. It's going to very much vary by how much of it you consumed as well, so it's not like a small amount will kill you immediately, necessarily. So different levels of toxin will kill different people, and different species of bamboo will have different amounts of it present. The reason why it's there in the first place is, much like many other species are out there, it's been generated to try and defend the bamboo shoot or bamboo plant as a whole from various predators. Humans are just one example. Mostly it's targeting herbivores, so think of, say, giant pandas. And, well, this is why it only gets released when the cells are crushed or chewed or otherwise digested. It's also a form of chemical defense. It's relatively inert inside the plant until the plant gets damaged, and then suddenly cyanide is released, causing all sorts of issues. It's particularly pronounced in the nutrient-rich shoots that are being grown fresh because, well, they're the ones that need to be protected. Much like human children or young, the idea is to keep them alive for as long as possible, and plants don't have the equivalent of an anti-vaxxer, so they use what is available. And because it's targeted protection for the most part, the shoots are particularly concentrated in this, and it's because they are particularly vulnerable. And as such, the earlier stages of a bamboo's growth cycle, the more concentrated it is, whereas the older it is, the, well, less enjoyable it is to eat, but also the less possibility of getting poisoned. There is species variation, just do remember this. So, for example, bitter varieties tend to be more potent, let's call it, and they will require considerably more processing. In some instances, you can get around this through fermentation, although this is, let's say, more a case of the long-term storage to ferment is what breaks down the cyanide, rather than the actual fermentation process itself. And, of course, not eating it raw, because, well, that's just straight up stupid if you do, and arguably an attempt at self-deletion. In terms of cooking, though, cooking is far more direct and to the point. The boiling is really the best way to do it, but you need to boil it for up to half an hour, sometimes more again. And what it does is it will break down that cyanogenic glycoside. It does release cyanide into the water, but as long as you're discarding the water after you finish boiling it, there's no real problem there. Another method that can be used to, let's say, make it even safer again is to change the water multiple times during the boiling. So essentially boil water several times, but change the water in between. Another option is to peel the bamboo shoots, and this is true of a lot of different plants. Removing the outer layer, and particularly fibrous parts, it tends to remove a lot of the most active compounds. Now, for example, potatoes, this is going to release the particular poisonous parts, or not necessarily poisonous, but not healthy parts of green potatoes. But if the potatoes aren't green, you're actually removing most of the, let's say, nutritious elements other than the starchy goodness. For bamboo shoots, less of a concern. Soaking is another option, which is effectively the same thing as boiling, it's just over a much longer period, typically hours through to possibly days. And, of course, cooking thoroughly. But just be mindful that if you don't cook it enough, you may still have the cyanogenic glycosides present, so make sure that you cook it thoroughly rather than partially cook it or stop too early. Once prepared properly, bamboo shoots are actually surprisingly nutritious. One of the major things they're rich in is, unsurprisingly, fiber, as you're effectively eating a form of grass, but they do contain some vitamins like B6 and E, along with a range of minerals. The reason that bamboo shoots have this is essentially herbivore pressure. Bamboo's native habitats, mostly the forests of Asia, Africa, and some of the Americas, had a lot of insects and mammals, along with a few other species that, like to eat bamboo, and cyanogenic glycosides provided a degree of protection. It made it less palatable to eat, and made eating bamboo somewhat of a gamble for certain species. This meant that if, for example, if you were a human and you went to eat it, and you ate it raw, you would feel really sick, and then after feeling a little bit better, you'd go, I'm not touching that again because that was a terrible time. Or you might even develop some sort of essentially learned response where you became sick anytime you tried to eat it. Of course, there's also environmental stress. Essentially, it's a way to make herbivores in particular that would graze on it more likely to target something else, and thereby remove some of that major stress. This made it more favorable in terms of evolution for bamboo to retain this particular kind of trait. And then we have some species that have actually co-evolved with it in mind. Pandas are the one we'll go with because they are basically the example. They can tolerate low levels of cyanide in the bamboo. The fact that it's also a fairly, let's say, non-nutritious product, and no other predators really predate on it in the form of herbivores, means that the panda has a solitary foodstuff that it can rely on to the exclusion of most other things. It's also provided a certain amount of reproductive advantage, essentially the same thing we've mentioned previously. Young new shoots don't get destroyed or eaten, and thereby allowing the bamboo to spread. This is unlike others where, for example, if you have a choice between a very unpleasant dish and a dish that, whilst not great, is edible and won't make you sick, you generally go with that. Unless it's something like McDonald's, in which case some people still eat it for some reason. We've mentioned that cyanogenic glycosides are not really that unique. They're found in many different species and, in fact, many plant families as a whole. Legumes and grasses are just simple examples, but many others have it. In terms of the wider evolutionary context, it's probably something that goes back hundreds of millions of years ago, and part of the division between, say, flowering plants and other plants again. And there was a certain amount of competition, let's say, between dinosaurs and later mammals. The fact that bamboo also relies heavily on a rhizome rather than, say, seeds to spread supported this retention of the trait, as it did protect those new shoots rising out of the rhizome, pun intended, and allowed for clonal reproduction, whereas other plant species, like many of your grasses that rely on seeds, didn't really have that luxury, and it also ensured that the trait was retained because you do effectively have a clone. This is why bamboo shoots are poisonous and why they need to be cooked for safety in consumption, or if you intend something particularly nefarious, but we're assuming here that you've just decided to not cook your bamboo shoots and had a really bad meal, and then a bad night, and you weren't sure why. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found it interesting, consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, and please do post any comments, questions, or suggestions you have below.